All right. Here we go. We have our current program. Debit card system. Now let's take a look at that account interface we started off. So we created a public interface account with nothing in it. We now need to figure out what we put in it. Let's take a look at what we have in our account system. So if we take a look at bank account and take a look at these others, what methods do we have that need to be available to all accounts that are shared between all accounts?
Deposit and withdraw.
We have a deposit, we have a withdraw, we have a two-string method, but that's already built in thanks to objects, so that's already there.
That get balance too.
We get balance, so there's that. Debit account, let's at least have those then to start. So we can do, for these, like, you can type this out. There's going to see in a few seconds, it's going to let me know that it's unnecessary, but you'll see. I'll void withdraw.
Cliff, I had a question real quick. I know I'm not sharing my screen anymore, but the way I use my interface, was that method injection? Or I'm trying to remember, like in the Mosh videos, he says that there's 3 ways to use them, and I'm a little confused which ones I actually did.
Get into that yet. What? I don't know if what way you did it was dependency injection. I don't think it was. Go ahead.
I think you did. Did you do constructor injection? Did you?
I think that was it. Yeah. So if I remember correctly, it's the passing that method injection supplies the consumer with a dependency by passing it as a method argument, not as a class item, but as a method argument. So in one of your methods, you would pass the interface through it. Yeah, I got a picture come up with an example of that. That is actually something I need to bring up again. Yeah, I forgot about that. Method injection is a topic that you do want to learn about, and I haven't come up with an example on that. I forgot about it. So I'll make sure at some point we do have a example of method injection at some point. So I don't have one at the very moment, but we will get into that. But I don't think what you did was.
Okay, I think
yeah.
All right.
Because yeah, it was part of the class, not a part of a method. All right, so what you're going to notice here is that the word public is great, and it tells you redundant. So that's the other use of gray in the IDE. I hate that it uses the same item twice, but it kind of works because again, when you're not using the method, it's considered redundant. Because like, why are you defining it if you're not? Why do you have this method if you're not using it? So it kind of still makes sense. The reason why the item public is unnecessary in interface because anything inside of an interface has to be public. That's what an interface does. The interface, what it technically does at its base level is tell the item using an interface what's available to it. And anything not public is not available, right? It's not public, you can't access it. And so an interface can't have private items. Otherwise, it's not unnecessary. It's not going to be useful. So an interface, anything inside the interface are public items. It's letting the user know, the consumer, consuming object or consuming class know, hey, these are the methods and potentially properties that I have access to. These are items I can interact with. So you don't need the word public. If you want to put in there so that it's clear what's going on, you can, but not necessary. So void withdraw, void deposit. And for now, that works. We'll start with this. It's a good starting point. Now, if we need more, we can always add them. What we'll do next, we'll head over to our bank account, and we'll actually implement this. My notes, where are my notes? There we go. Bank account. I'm just going to add in implements. Now this is already happy because it already has the deposit and withdraw methods in here. So it's fine, it's happy, it has what it needs. One thing I will say is that we could then go, of course, to the checking account. We could actually type in here, implements account 2. But what I will say is that this is unnecessary. Because bank account's implementing it, that's going to be brought down as well. Because of the inheritance, checking account will be assumed to implement account because parent class does. And so this is not necessary. This is kind of redundant. I will say I'm going to add this to my code so that when you guys see it, you know what's happening. You can see that it's implementing. And some people do this so that you don't have to check if the parent class is implementing an interface to know it's usable. So I have seen some people do this, and that's why it's not being flagged or anything, because it's a nice readability item. I don't have to check if any of the parents, any classes are implementing an interface to know that this class can utilize the interface. My example on that really is the CD investment. CD investment is implementing the account interface. Why? Why can I say that?
Because it's extending from the investment account, and the investment account is really extending from bank account.
Exactly. And so it has this chain down. It's coming from the investment account's parent class. And so at a quick glance, it doesn't look like CD investment is an account. I can't tell. I have to go to investment to say, well, okay, well, investment account's not implementing anything, but wait, bank account might be. So let me go check. Okay, yep, bank account's implementing accounts, so now I know. So you can see where that little bit of that annoyance could come into play. So I've seen people do this thing where they do still kind of bring it into all of them. Account, just so that you can see right from the get-go that it's connected. So is it required? Not at all. I'm putting it to make it just easy for you guys to look into as you go around. But in most cases, yeah, if you didn't put it in something. I'm going to add it to all the classes just so that it's there so you see it at quick glance. This is going to be easier for you guys as students, but yeah, in your actual code, it's unnecessary for you to do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. The only one that has to implement the account, the interface is the parent class. So, or a parent class. So that, well, let's start using it a little bit. Let's go ahead over to because our debit card was the one that was trying to utilize. We had all these checking account primary, we had list checking account, list savings account, list investment account. This seems unwieldy. So we're going to keep primary checking account because it's likely we want the checking account to be the main account the card draws from. Every other account, we should just have an ATM accounts list that stores the accounts. So let's do private list account ATM. I'm going to comment these out. Make this equal to new. I did a space there. I didn't mean to. Why are we yelling at me? New array list account. Again, I'm going to get rid of that because it's unnecessary. Needed. So we have this now, which means we no longer need these individual add account items. We can just create one full one that says public void add account. It will take an account. We're simply going to do ATM accounts dot add account. That's a lot nicer, isn't it? We have this list of accounts. We just add that account to our ATM accounts. That looks a lot nicer, doesn't it? And now we can use, as long as the class is a implementer of the account interface, it can be put in this list. Let's see what that does. Let's see how that looks in our main class. Like the main, we have our investment account, we have our CD account. Let's go ahead and create a debit card now. I'm gonna get rid of all this. I don't need this anymore. I'm gonna create this checking account back. We do need the checking account. I'm gonna save this account back in. Let's go ahead and do debit card. Card equals debit card. What the? Oh, they hit there. Command P, because you need the card num. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do that. PIN is the PIN you should not have. But I'm going to use it today. Our security code 555. That works for me. That should be a string again. Our card owner. Well, we're going to be using accounts from all different people, so I'll take the card now. Next item. And now we need the checking account primary, which we'll put in my checking for that. So give it to my checking account. Okay. So far, so good, right? Simple card. Let's do my card dot add account. Let's start by adding my savings in there. Let's see if it runs. It's not going to print anything, but at least we should see that it won't crash. No crash. Let's add another one. We'll add to my invest account. Not accounts. Card.add account. We'll also add in my CD. Did that crash? Let's see. Nope, it's fine. So it likes that. Well, let's see what we can do with it. Let's actually do a little more with it. I want to actually create a printout system now. I want to say I want to display the accounts, the ATM accounts. So let's do void or string. Sorry. No, we'll do void for this. I'm going to just print it in the console here. Make my life easier. Display accounts. And now here, we want to loop through our list and print each one by one. So if I want to loop through the list, what should I use? And I want to go loop through every single item in the list. How do I do that? What looping system should I use?
A for each loop.
For each. Thank you for not saying a for loop. I think the technical term for Java, though, they like to use the for in, but either one's fine. If you said for each, no one would be upset, but I think the official name is called a for in loop, which is weird. I don't know. For account, and ATM accounts. And that's a bad name. There we go. I actually did great. Wait, did that actually do a grammar check on me?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I did not know it did that. That's actually kind of cool.
It has like really robust grammar checking, which is hilarious.
I did not expect an IDE to have grammar checking, which, by the way, I did find out that some people don't know the term IDE, by the way. So who here doesn't know the term IDE? Some of you did mention it during our one-on-ones because I found out some people didn't know it. So does anyone else here not know the term IDE? Can anyone tell me what the term actually stands for? Let's see, who do I want to pick on first? Hector, you know it's been a while since you've been here. Let's see, do you remember what IDE stands for?
Shoot, isn't it like integration development environment or something like that?
So close. The first word is wrong, but yes,
Is
developer
it integrated?
environment.
Is it integrated?
Integrated, yes.
Oh, okay, there you go.
There you go. Very nice. Well done.
Integration. That's a weird way to
Integration.
say
That was a different way to say it, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that far off. So well done. Yeah, it's an integrated developer environment. That's what we have here. We have this integrated development environment. We have a text editor here. We have a file library here, or a folder structure here. And we have a terminal down here. We have all our tools integrated in one window. In normal systems, you would have a text editor open, you'd have your Explorer window open, and you have a terminal open separately. And that would be and that was the way developers used to work. They used to have multiple different windows open with these three things here. We would have our text editor open on its own. We have a Finder open, or some sort of browser window open, or a file browser window open, and we'd have the actual terminal itself open in a separate system. We'd have to switch between these screens rapidly over and over again. And that can get very annoying. And so IDEs connect all those systems together. They bring them all into one little area. So you're dealing with one tool, one program the entire time. So do be happy you live in the environment where you do have these IDEs and you don't have to deal with all these separate windows if you had to code. And we didn't have tabbing back then either. So there was no tabbing in the early ages of development. So yeah, for account, and ATM account. So how you read this is for account, and ATM accounts. And so the last thing I'm going to say here is that if these two items are going to be written up the same, this is the one spot that you would actually be perfectly okay and be actually rewarded for using the term var. If that makes sense. This is the one spot for that it's okay, especially if you have the word over and over again. This now sounds a little better for var account in ATM accounts. It reads easier. This is the spot that var is usually welcomed in and actually kind of preferred. Anywhere else, you really should use the data type, but here is a spot that you're safe to use var. It's very obvious what the data type's going to be. Make sense? Cool. Otherwise, you want to avoid these var because it just looks newbie. And it makes it seem like you're relying too heavily on the compiler. Anyway, so we got that. So let's go ahead and do test out. Count that well. String. Let's try that. So our interface didn't create it, but we have mentioned before, all classes have a toString method because it comes from the class system. So it should work. So it should be able to pull our accounts toString method. Let's try that and see what this does. Go to main, then I can do my card, display accounts. Let's see what we get. And would you look at that? We get our printout. Looks good, right?
Cliff, can you just go back to debit card for a second?
I can. I was gonna see if anyone needed me to.
Huh.
Kind of nice, right?
Perfect, thank you.
No worries. Let's head back to our debit card quick. I'm gonna do one more thing with it for today, and then we'll probably finish up. So on our debit card, I do want to also do a public void display details. Sorry, void details. Go ahead.
Why didn't it show the checking account?
Because that's not in our ATM accounts.
Oh.
Right,
Okay.
that's our
Yeah, that
primary
makes
account.
sense.
That's why I'm doing details
Gotcha.
now. So details is going to talk about the actual main account. So good you caught that. Nice. So here I'm going to do S out, and here I'm going to do, let's do, balance. What else do I wanna do? Fine for now. That should work. Cool. That, let's go back to main now, and we can also do my card dot details. Play.
Huh. That's cool.
There we go. Nice. Or I should use that tools system because I realize I'm not doing the fancy formatting we did, but it's fine. I won't add in the formatting, but it works. So this is going to be, again, this is kind of showing you a very basic interface right now. We're actually going to expand on it more as we add more tools. What we're going to end up doing tomorrow, where'd my notes go? Where'd they go? There it is. Cool. Put my items back up. So the next thing we're going to bring in is we're going to start bringing in the actual bank class and client class. The first we're going to start with is, of course, the client class, actually having clients, because really, we should have a client store all these accounts, right? We have the accounts, but if I create a bunch of accounts for myself, they're just kind of going to be floating, right? If I wanted to, I could make all these accounts mine, but they're kind of just floating there, right? They're kind of just the accounts just floating in our system. And so really a person or a client should own those, right? I should have a list of accounts. So personal challenge for you guys, and again, this will be the warm-up challenge tomorrow, is to try to come up with a client class. See what you come up with. Be creative, get the practice on it, kind of come up with, see what you come up with, because you'll be able to utilize the accounts and stuff like that. So think about how you're going to store those and how to use the account interface with that. So try to come up with an account class, see what you can come up with, be creative, have some fun. But yeah, tomorrow that'll be the warm up as well, kind of building out a client class anyway. So you can also wait for tomorrow to do it. That's going to be our next exercise.
Cliff, repeat that one more time. What's the challenge? Is it, you said account class? I don't know if it's
No, you're going to be utilizing the account class. What you're going to do is create the client class.
client class. That's what I heard. I was just making
Bank
sure because
client. Yep.
I tried to overhear it again. Okay, got
So
it.
you're going to create a client class. Again, this will also be the warm up for tomorrow. So if you want to wait till tomorrow to work on it, that's fine. But if you want to get a head start on it tonight, you can.
Okay, got it.
Sound good?
Yep.
All right. I'll upload this as soon as it's done processing. I'll see
Awesome.
everyone tomorrow.
All right, take it easy, Cliff.
Take it easy.
Good.
Bye.
Thank you, Cook. Bye.